all seen these media slants, right? Like a free speech rally is attacked by Antifa. And many in the mainstream media will say free speech rally people incite violence. And you're like, wait, what? Who came there to attack? Wait, do Antifa rallies get attacked? Do pride marches get attacked? Do pro-abortion marches get shut down? No, the right almost never, if ever, attacks other events, but somehow, some way, it's the right's fault. The right just brings it on itself. And in this tragic story, John Cho, the American missionary, was killed after he reached North Sentinel Island, which is banned from outside contact and is illegal to travel to, which is probably why you haven't heard of it. And John was killed when he reached the island by the native people, the Sentinelese, who have been isolated and cut off from the world for thousands of years. So, how would the mainstream media paint this story? Well, USA Today was pretty clear, leading with a headline saying, quote, American on misplaced adventure killed by hostile tribes on remote island. Very subtle. NBC said, quote, American killed by isolated tribe on India's North Sentinel Island, police say. And then they lead it with, quote, an American adventurer who kayaked to a remote Indian island populated by a tribe known for shooting outsiders with bows and arrows has been killed, police say Wednesday. Yeah, this adventurer got what was coming to him. And LA Times leads with its first quote, calling John an American tourist. The mainstream media is quick to lump John's actions into an adventure seeker, a tourist, or a risk taker, painting the story for the readers that John's acts were all self-seeking, self-serving, risking his life solely for the thrill. And I guess he just got what was coming to him. Well, let me give you some more details from his actual journals and the last entries of it. John said, quote, I'm scared, watching the sunset and it's beautiful, crying a bit, wondering if it'll be the last sunset I see, unquote. Quote, you guys may think I'm crazy in all this, but I think it's worthwhile to declare Jesus to these people. God, I don't want to die, unquote. And despite knowing the danger, John had been planning this trip for 3 years, as mentioned by a friend to the Daily Mail, to quote, preach Christianity to the tribesmen. Yeah, it really sounds like he was trying to get an adrenaline rush, right? And on his final day, the fisherman who dropped him off said, quote, John found himself facing a flurry of arrows, but he kept walking.
Clearly, John Allen Chau was a man on a mission, and that mission did not go very well indeed. Now, was it foolhardy and downright dangerous to go to North Sentinel Island in the first place? Perhaps. But by the same token, there seems to be a degree of glee in certain quarters, including those in the mainstream media, who appear to be gloating over Mr. Chau's demise, and that's not right either. And with more on the horrible death of John Chau, I'm joined now by our Tinseltown Rebel, Ben Davies. Welcome to Rebel Roundup, Ben.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
A pleasure as always. But Ben, I have to be honest with you here. I'm struggling with this story. Mr. Chau went to an extremely dangerous place, and a place that's actually illegal to visit. He was smuggled there by a fisherman, and he knew that. My question is this: could he have not gone somewhere else that was more receptive to his missionary work, or at least to a place that wasn't going to result in a death sentence for him?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are like hundreds of thousands, millions of missionaries all over the world that do this kind of work constantly. I work with several organizations like Amazima Ministries that goes into Uganda, where we went up into the mountains where people had literally never seen a white person before. And for kids whose parents have died of AIDS, we would take them in and take them to school and give them 2 meals a day when they were just living in the dirt, basically. And there's organizations like this all over the world that do incredible good. And these were things that John Chau had done, like he'd done missions work before. But this was the first time he's like, well, these people, like no one has been able to reach these people. They've been living isolated for years. And he wanted to spread the word and the gospel to them and give them hope in a future. And that was his goal, whether you believe his intentions or not. That was kind of what his mission was. But what I think is so fascinating is looking back on this. This is the most controversial video I've ever put on the Rebel. I have more dislikes on this video than ever before and more comments than ever before. And I think it's so interesting because I think there's two questions here. The first thing that I could reach out to for people that didn't like the video specifically because, there was a bunch of people attacking Christianity. If you are watching The Rebel, I'm sure you are a fan of the West. And that's one of the things I talked about is why the media is slanting this a certain way for John Chau. And if there's an attack on Christianity and Judeo-Christian principles, they are attacking Western civilization. That's the reason why they're doing it. And I was talking about the way they were framing John when they were describing him as an adventure seeker or a tourist or something like that, and specifically not demeaning the reason why he was there. And that's the reason why they were going there. And I think the people that were disliking my video, half of it, I was just talking about the way the media is attacking this, to attack increased Christian beliefs and Christian principles, and conflated with the people go to a tribe area that has not been immune to some diseases. Then I think those were the two things that really got people going on the video.
But Ben, subtracting the religion out of it here, it's just the fact that he seemed to be going to a place where he wanted to save people where clearly they don't want to be saved. And I have some sympathy for these people. Evidently, if you go back to 1858, the population was over 5,000. The last credible number they have is from 1931, 460. Decimated by diseases. I mean, I guess it's one thing to spread the gospel. It's another thing if you're going to spread measles. And this is why these people are saying, look, leave us alone. We don't want any outside interference. They tried to kill a shipwrecked Belgian crew in 1981. Only heavy waters prevented them from doing so. In 1974, a National Geographic film crew was there. The cameraman ended up with an arrow in his ankle. They have said time and time again, don't come here. So again, I ask you, Ben, why go there?
Yeah, like I said, it's I in my video specifically, I wasn't condoning people to do what John did. I wasn't saying to anyone go to this island, like break the law and do this sort of thing. And to answer your question, why? If you feel like there's a calling on your heart from God, you're going to follow through with it. And that was. And so I wasn't questioning his motives necessarily, and that was why he was, I guess, going to this place in the first place. His friend said he'd been planning this trip for 3 years. I was more pointing out that obviously I was not condoning people going to the island. I was just saying that it would be very, very different if this was not a Christian missionary, if this was a radical feminist trying to empower women on the island. Like, she would be martyred as a hero. We'd have a national holiday. But since it was a Christian missionary, it was kind of almost made fun of or mocked for him going over there. But yeah, I mean, these people obviously want to be isolated, and this is something that is dangerous. But it was not like he was a colonizer, which is what he was called to, trying to get to this island to plant a flag. He was walking into arrow fire with his hands out because he wanted to help the people. I think it almost disrespectful the way it was framed by many in the media.
But Ben, if I throw it out to you again, I mean, in a way, another reason why I have sympathy for these people is that they're pursuing a narrative that we support, which is border control and preventing illegals from coming into your territory. And that's what they did here. Now, did this man deserve a death sentence? Absolutely not. But those are the rules of engagement that this tribe operates under. So again, just like the U.S. is protecting its border on Mexico right now from some 5,000 migrants from Central America getting in, this is what the Sentinelese protecting their territory too, is it not?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why they're not going to be charged with murder. I know they're trying to retrieve the body now. And yeah, that's a very separate issue in that front. Yeah, protecting your borders and that sort of thing. Like that wasn't something that I was disputing in that at all. And he was willing to take the risk and face the death sentence for doing that. And I guess they had the right to defend their borders and kill him. And that's why they're not going to be charged with anything from the India. Obviously, there's no government influence over there. There's no technology or anything. But I mean, he knew the risk, and that was what happened.
Well, I guess we'll wrap it here, Ben. I think I always try to look for a silver lining in any kind of tragedy, and I really feel for this man. He didn't deserve to pay with his life. He made a stupid decision to go there, but he doesn't deserve, I think, to get the kind of hate-on mocking he's receiving. But having said that, maybe the silver lining is his example is a telltale warning sign to anyone else, for whatever reason, that wants to go there. You are not welcome for any reason. Stay away or pay the ultimate price.
Yeah, and I would encourage people too, because obviously people will talk about doing disease or injecting disease in different cultures and stuff. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples that complete opposite happening with other civilizations, including a great movie called The End of the Spear with the Huaorani tribe in Honduras that were isolated as well. And after the missionaries were killed, their children and wives would come back and befriended these people and brought them into civilization and completely transformed the area. So I want to also have that too. And also, yeah, obviously, if this is a dangerous place, it's illegal to go to, stay away.
Gotcha. Thanks so much, Ben.
You're welcome.